Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll showcase the scouting system in Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's an important mechanic in the game, particularly if you're playing with the guided exploration mode turned off. They're also very useful at gathering resources, which we can then use to upgrade our hideout. We first get access to scouts when we get to the hideout, which occurs very early on in the game. The Kakarega is the scouting base and is the first room you can actually build in the hideout. You also automatically have the stables when you get to the hideout, and the stables and the Kakarega are your two main buildings for the scouting system. So let's get into the first main use of the scouts. So here we have the guided exploration mode turned off. You'll see there's no quest markers on the map, and we just have some clues. In this example, the perfect gift, we have these 4 bullet points pointing towards where the quest might be. Below them you have square scout objective, and then here you can choose the number of scouts you send. The more you send, the bigger that search radius is, and you're more likely to find your quest marker. In this instance we just send 1 scout out and we find our quest marker. So this is great if you have the guided exploration mode turned off. If you have it turned on, you won't have this use because you'll know where that quest is already, so you won't have that square scout objective option. Another useful mechanic of the scouts is they're able to gather resources. So here we're at the bamboo cutters camp. This is applicable to camps and castles. So at the moment I've cleared out all the guards, and you'll see this white barrel icon. We can press triangle and smuggle the resources. It only costs us 1 scout at this stage. At the start of the game it costs 2, so it can be quite expensive. I've got it down to 1 by upgrading one of my buildings in the hideout. It's well worth making that upgrade, as it can be quite expensive to use 2 scouts per stockpile. It's very common to have 2 or 3 stockpiles in these camps, so you would need 4 or 6 scouts, and you would deplete your scouts really quickly. Note that you get these resources from the stockpiles at the end of the season. A season takes around 2.5 hours in game. So you'll see to the right there we have 3 scouts, and they're collecting 260, 65 and 195 of those 3 different resources. We can also change the season if we want to speed this up. I'll now cover the buildings which are really useful to the scouting system. So as I mentioned before, you have the Kakarega, which is where we acquire a scout, and more importantly we're able to get seasonal contracts, which gives us great rewards which we can use to upgrade our hideout. Upgrading this building will give us rumours that reveal locations of collectibles, treasures, and scouts can also be assigned to clear regional alerts, which is really useful. And finally, you can upgrade this where the cost of other Kakaregas you build around Japan costs 30% less, which again is very useful. Another great building for the scouts is the stables. So this allows you to tag stockpiles in camps and castles. Earlier on in the video I was explaining how it costs 2 scouts originally to take these stockpiles, but if you upgrade this and it isn't too costly, you can actually only cost you 1 scout. So this is well worth doing early on in the game. The next upgrade I'll be making will be this level 3 to the stables, which allows us to get 20% more resources from those stockpiles. The next building is the study, and this is how we get more scouts. So every time you upgrade this building you'll get an additional scout, which you can then use to either explore areas of the map or gather resources. So again, the study is fueling your number of scouts, so well worth investing in. Finally, you have the Nando building, which makes replenishing scouts at the Kakarega costing 30% less resources, which is never a bad thing. Also, from upgrading your hideout in general, you can see we're level 3 at the moment, so we get these first 2 perks. The first one being available scouts can bring back Mon at the season end, and when we reach level 4 we'll have our scouts bringing back hideout resources. Later on they'll bring back crafting materials and also gear at the season's end. So it's really important to upgrade your hideout to not miss out on these great perks. From here you can see that we have 3 scouts salvaging in the right side of the map. Those are the resources below, so leaving us with only 2 scouts. In the bottom left of the map only 2 of those circles are glowing, so we have 2 scouts available for this season. At the end of the season those other 3 scouts will return. However, if you want to get your scouts back early, you can go to your Kakarega and go to these brightly coloured bags and then refill your scouts for 200 Mon to get them back early. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe for more.